Well, it seems like the stars have shifted for the Girl of Steel. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow has a brand new title and seemingly a new logo. So what does all this mean? Is this a bold new direction for Kara Zor-El or a clue of something else brewing bigger in James Gunn's universe? Well, one thing's for sure, Supergirl's future in the DCU is bright, and we're going to break down all the details. Well, if you've been paying attention, you know that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is currently in production. We've been getting a lot of set pictures and leaks and little details that have found their way out. This is pretty typical for most DCU productions, especially when they have to take it outside. Now, a ways back, we found out David Kreutzholm was set to play the Girl of Steel's father, Zor-El, and recently he took to social media to announce that he had finished filming all of his scenes. Now, the movie hasn't finished yet, and this definitely does suggest his role is rather limited. Now, he shared two pictures, and it's the second one that's pretty interesting. The first picture just features his actor's chair with the title of his character, but the second picture is the interesting one. Now, when you check this out, the actor does note this might not be the final logo down in the comments for his post, but this is definitely a new logo and most likely means this will be part of all the promotional material, the merchandise, and all those things that come with the movie. What was more interesting was not the logo, but was the lack of the Woman of Tomorrow subtitle. Now, if you remember correctly, Superman was originally named Superman Legacy, and during production, they felt like it was a good time to change the title and just trimmed it back to Superman. And it kind of feels like that might be what's happening here. Now, the Woman of Tomorrow comic series is pretty definitive, and they are clearly drawing from that. But it does feel like, especially with the addition of Lobo, it may have evolved into a different story. Now, I do think there's other possibilities here, and that's where we want to be really careful. I actually have to wonder if James Gunn is naming some of these projects specifically to garner attention and hype around them. Woman of Tomorrow is considered one of the best Supergirl stories ever, and Superman Legacy kind of suggested a callback to the older versions of the character, sort of addressing that more recent divide over the Zack Snyder version of the character. I have to wonder if some of this is strategic, and basically Gunn is drawing fans in and then kind of adjusting to whatever his original vision is. This makes me wonder about other projects, specifically Batman the Brave and the Bold. I guess when that film finally goes in production, we'll know more details about that, but it absolutely does seem like James Gunn is very open to changing titles and reworking some of these details, and I have to say, does it really matter? Obviously, marketing and market research plays big into these projects, and as they dig farther and farther into production, I'm sure they're doing their homework behind the scenes. Personally, as long as the movie is really good, I don't think it really matters what it's titled unless it turns out to be something rather lame. Supergirl as a title works perfectly, and the new logo does look pretty good. So maybe adding the Woman of Tomorrow subtitle broke up the logo, or just simply didn't work in the context of the movie that they're making. One thing I did notice about the logo though, I don't know if you saw this, but there is a lot more blue. The Superman version of the logo is the red emblem with a yellow background. This particular version of the logo is a red emblem with a blue background, and the Supergirl title is yellow encased in blue. This might be absolutely purposeful in order to give the Supergirl logo some distinctfulness and separation from the Superman logo, which I think is pretty smart. Honestly, the color scheme doesn't really matter. We've even seen the logo in silver and black and white and black, and it totally works. So I am glad they're giving the character the sort of individualized attention that she deserves all the way down to the logo. Now, we've seen quite a few set videos in the last couple of weeks which saw Millie Alcock taking on not only Lobo but some other mysterious villains, and this suggests to me they're pretty far into production and we might be hearing about a wrap date very soon. If that's the case, they've done a pretty good job keeping these secrets locked down, and I think that's going to be pretty key moving forward. I highly suspect when Superman drops, we'll find out a lot of stuff we simply didn't see during production, and I'm fully anticipating Supergirl to bring the same kind of surprises once it releases in 2026. Now, we're going to keep following Supergirl pretty closely. I know a lot of you guys are really interested in this movie, and at the end of the day, the logo and the title doesn't matter as much as the quality of the film, and it seems so far the DCU is nailing that part. How it all works out, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, before you take off though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily videos and we want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently so you're really in the know.